Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm bringing you another wedding video today. As you know, I'm getting married. You probably definitely know that by now because I say that in like every video. But I thought it would be fun to do a video on what I didn't expect from being engaged and what I have learned. I feel like when you get engaged, you think of a couple, like things that are gonna happen. You know what to expect, but there are so many things that you do not expect. And there are things that I definitely did not, and there's things that I have definitely learned that I think will help you in the future, anyone who's engaged, who's getting married, that's the same thing. I don't know why I said that. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into this video. The very first thing that I did not expect at all was people asking questions right after I got engaged. And what I mean by that is I'll give you an example. I got engaged the day before Thanksgiving. On the day of Thanksgiving, people were already asking me when the wedding was gonna be. And I'm just like, I don't know. Can I enjoy this for a day maybe before we start wedding planning? So people will ask you like crazy questions like that, and I've just been continuously getting questions about things that I have like no idea so soon. People want to know things like right away, and then Baxter, we're not doing this today. He always wants to chew his toys in the background of my videos, and it's not cool, Baxter. And then people just want to ask you questions in general, just like random questions that you probably don't want to answer, and I don't know, it's very invasive, and I learned that right away. Nothing bad on the people who asked. I'm sure they just want to make like conversation and just are curious, but I had no idea for the longest time when our date was going to be and where it was going to be and who was going to be in it, anything like that. So just expect that people are going to ask like right away questions off the bat. The next thing that I didn't really expect and learned is all of the rules that go along with like different venues. So you might have your eyes set on a certain venue, you love it, it's great, but then you read like the contract or the rules and you can't play music there past like 8 o'clock, or you have to pick this caterer with this venue, or you have to go with this. So all your dreams with that venue just kind of start crumbling. Like you just don't realize everything that goes into a venue. It might look like the most beautiful venue ever, and then you get into it and like sign a contract, get it done, and then later down the line you realize like I can't do half the things that I originally wanted to do because of the restrictions on this venue. Your venue might be, a really pretty outdoor venue that you've always wanted, but you're only allowed like 50 chairs on their lawn. Like there was a place like that I looked at. I was somewhere I really wanted to have it. It's beautiful, and you were only allowed to have like 50 chairs, and it wasn't even you couldn't put it on their grass. You could only put it in like certain spots, and so it wasn't even like a pretty area to where you could get married. And so there's just like so many things like that you do not expect. And I definitely learned along the way to really look into what is important to you. If having certain vendors is very important to you, make sure you get a venue that allows you to do that. Something that I definitely have learned from being engaged is picking something that's small and cheap might not be cheap in the future. And what I mean by that is, let's say you get a venue and it's really pretty, it's a great price, and you're like, yes, this is perfect, it's in my budget, whatever. But, in your mind, you're like, oh, I have all these things, it's great. And then later on down the road, you realize like, oh man, this is gonna cost me a lot more than I thought it was. And that comes into play with like the vendor situation. Like certain venues require to use their vendors, and sometimes, a lot of the times, their vendors are very expensive. Like with my venue, I got a very good price in my venue. However, I have to use their caterers that they have on their list. They only have like 4, and they're like crazy expensive caterers. And so we ran into that problem, and I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I had another, they told me things, and the things didn't pan out to be what they were going to be. But that's a whole nother story. I'll spill the tea later on that. But just know that you need to factor in all of the costs, because it might be expensive to get a venue that's all inclusive, or a venue that's more like expensive, but if it comes with more and you're allowed to do things that better, like places that you can bring your own alcohol, you're gonna save some money. My place, you have to get alcohol from there, and it's expensive. definitely find a place where you can supply your own alcohol, because a lot of times alcohol stores will let you sell the alcohol, like the unopened bottles, back to them, which is awesome. I can't do that, but just like little things like that, you want to make sure you factor those costs in when you're picking your venue, because the cheapest way is not always the best way in the end, and you might end up spending more money than you wanted to. Something I did not expect at all was how much my mind would change. I feel like before I got engaged, like I had this whole Pinterest board of like different things I wanted for my wedding, and I honestly have changed it completely. Like, for example, when I started planning, I was like, oh, each table's gonna have a Disney theme. It's gonna be like really cool vintage items and whatnot. And now that I'm getting close to the wedding, I'm like, that's not gonna happen. I need time saving, money saving, and just something that is like simple and easy. And so that was scratched out of the way. And then like my bridesmaids dresses, I had changed those like 50 times. I still haven't sent them which ones they're gonna get, but I kind of know now. And really what's important to me has changed. Like, there was things at the beginning that I really wanted that are not so important to me now. What's important to me now is entertainment, which is something I didn't think I would be important to me, like DJ and stuff. And then like videographer, I did not want a videographer to begin with. And then halfway through our engagement, I didn't have a video of when me and Tyler got engaged, and I really wish I did, because I'm a very like visual person, which is I like YouTube videos because I can go back and watch, you know, memories. And so I was like, I need a videographer. If I don't get one, I'm gonna regret it. And so it's like little things like that, but you change your mind so often. So do not get stuck on one thing, because your mind will probably change. If you're like me. If you're not like me, you'll probably have like a set plan, you'll follow it, but I scatterbrain. Something that I learned are crazy wedding dreams are definitely a thing. I have had so many crazy wedding dreams. I mentioned that in my video. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was my update video. I'll link that above if you haven't seen that. But in my update video, I mentioned that I was having like really weird dreams. And so first I had a dream about like my wedding engagement ring breaking and shattering into a million pieces, and I was trying to put it back together. And then I was having a dream about like not having anything ready like 2 weeks before, and then the day of, no one had invites and everything. And so I talked like more detail about those dreams in that video, so definitely go check that out. But wedding dreams are a thing. I did have a good dream the other day though. I had a dream that it did not rain on the wedding day, and it was perfect weather, so let's just pray that that is going to happen on the day of. One thing I didn't expect was the wedding registry to be like one of the most fun things. It wasn't ever anything that I was like, oh yeah, I can't wait to go register for things, woohoo! But like, when we went to register, it was so fun. They give you like a little scanner. You can go around just like scanning things that you normally wouldn't buy for yourself, and maybe someone else will buy for you. There's no harm putting anything on there, because if you get something you don't want, you can take it back and exchange it. It's great, and a lot of the times they give you like discounts afterwards and stuff, but it was so much fun to register. We're still like registering here and there, like little things that we want, that we see, but it's a lot of fun. Definitely make sure you do it with your significant other, because it was just a really great experience and a great time for us to really connect and see what we want for our future. All right, this one is, I feel like people may know this, but people say rude things when you're getting married, specifically older people. So I have had a lot of people criticize marriage so hard, like just randomly. Even the mailman at work, like he tells you, don't get married, like just elope, like, or like just like things like that, or like don't spend money on a wedding, just elope, it's better. I've had people say like, oh, don't get married, you're just, you know, you're too young, or just like they say rude things, and it's like, you don't know me. And it's random people. It's not usually people I know. It's random people that I like find out I'm getting married, and they like say the worst things. It's like, you have no idea about me, my relationship, how I am as a person. Like, why are you going to say things like that to me? And so I've encountered that definitely. I had some woman, because where I work, we also own a storage business, and this lady was like a marriage counselor, and she was asking me all these questions and like saying that I just shouldn't get married because she had been divorced. And I was like, or no, she was a marriage counselor, she was like a marriage lawyer or something. And so she was telling me all these things, and I'm just like, that's not me. She's like, you need to spend so much time with this person before you get married. I'm like, I literally like live with this person. So it bothers me, but I try not to let it get to me. Just know that people are gonna say rude things, and a lot of the times it's strangers. It can be family members too, but like, family members towards things that you're doing for the wedding. They might say rude things towards that. They might not do it the same way, but mostly strangers. It's crazy. And the last thing, okay, I kind of expected this, but I didn't expect it as fully as it is. Weddings are expensive. Let's just talk about expenses, because I feel like people don't talk about money enough on YouTube. This is important. Weddings are expensive. And people say that all the time, but I don't think I was fully prepared for how expensive a wedding is. When you, like, because you might have a thing in your mind, like, okay, this is going to cost this much because I've had this done before, whatever. When you slap the word wedding onto something, it adds at least $500 to $1,000. I mean, you can get a regular photo shoot for the same amount of time as you would a wedding photo shoot, but you better guarantee that $1,000 is going to be added on there. And you can't not say it's for a wedding, because they're going to go there and know it's for a wedding and you're going to get charged anyways. And so just be prepared that when they say weddings are expensive, they mean weddings are expensive. Like, expensive. Okay, rant over. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of just kind of like what I learned and what I didn't expect from being engaged. Other than those things, like, being engaged is awesome. I love Tyler to death. Do not get me wrong, but there's just a lot of things that go along with being engaged, and it's such a short period of time in your life. There's so much stress added into it, and, you know, just try to fully appreciate it and, you know, really enjoy this time in your life, because there's such a short period between, you know, dating, engagement, and then marriage. And so, I mean, unless you get engaged for a long time. I had 1.5 years, and it's like flown by. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!